Hi, I'm Angela Chase, probably one of the biggest Guns N' Roses fans you'll ever find. See, I even have Appetite for Destruction hanging on the wall of my office. But, Axl's been getting a lot of flack about this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame letter, and I noticed that in the Use Your Illusions, there were a lot of songs written going off on people, so I wondered if perhaps Axl's energy might be better spent by putting his words to a song. Now, Estranged is Guns N' Roses' longest song, 9 minutes, 24 seconds. Let's see which is longer, Estranged or the letter, shall we? When the nominations for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame were first announced, I had mixed emotions, but in an effort to be positive, wanting to make the most of things for the fans and with their enthusiasm, I was honored, excited, and hoped that somehow this would be a good thing. Of course, I realized as things stood, if Guns N' Roses were to be inducted, it'd be somewhat of a complicated or awkward situation. Since then, we've listened to fans, talked with members of the boards of the Hall of Fame, communicated with and read various public comments and jabs from former members of Guns N' Roses, had discussions with the president of Hall of Fame, read various press, some legit, some contrived, and read other artists' comments weighing in publicly on Guns and the Hall with their thoughts. Under the circumstances, I feel we've been polite, courteous, and open to an amicable solution in our efforts to work something out. Taking into consideration the history of Guns N' Roses, those who plan to attend, along with those the Hall for reasons of their own have chosen to include in our induction that, for the record, are decisions I don't agree with, support, or feel the Hall has any right to make. And how, albeit no easy task, those involved with the Hall have handled things, no offense meant to anyone, but the Hall of Fame induction ceremony doesn't appear to be somewhere I'm actually wanted or respected. For the record, I would not begrudge anyone from Guns their accomplishments or recognition for such. Neither I or anyone in my camp has made any requests or demands of the Hall of Fame. It's their show, not mine. That said, I won't be attending the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Induction 2012 ceremony, and I respectfully decline my induction as a member of Guns N' Roses to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I strongly request that I not be inducted in absentia, and please know that no one is authorized, nor may anyone be permitted to accept any induction for me or speak on my behalf. Neither former members, label representatives, nor the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should imply, whether directly, indirectly, or by omission, that I am included in any purported induction of Guns N' Roses. This decision is personal. This letter is to help clarify things from my and my camp's perspective. Neither is meant to offend, attack, or condemn, though unfortunately, I'm sure there will be those who take offense. God knows how long I'll have to contend with the fallout. I certainly don't intend to disappoint anyone, especially the fans, with this decision. Since the announcement of the nomination, we've actually sought out a solution to what, with all things considered, appears to be a no-win, at least for me, damned if I do, damned if I don't scenario all the way around. In regard to a reunion of any kind of either the Appetite or Illusion lineups, I've publicly made myself more than clear, nothing's changed. The only reason at this point, under the circumstances, in my opinion, whether under the guise of for the fans or whatever justification of the moment, for anyone to continue to ask, suggest, or demand a reunion are misguided attempts to distract from our efforts with our current lineup of myself, Dizzy Reed, Tommy Stinson, Frank Farrer, Richard Fortas, Chris Pittman, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and DJ Ashba. Izzy came out with us a few times back in 06, and I invited him to join us at our LA Forum show last year. Steven was at our show at the Hard Rock later in 06 in Las Vegas, where I invited him to our after party and was rewarded with his subsequent interviews filled with reunion lies. Lesson learned. Def joined us in 2010 and again in 11 along with his band Loaded, opening in Seattle and Vancouver. For me, with the exception of Izzy or Def joining us on stage, if they were so inclined somewhere in the future for a song or two, that's enough. There's a seemingly endless amount of revisionism and fantasies out there for the sake of self-promotion and business opportunities, masking the actual realities. Until every single one of those generating from or originating with the earlier lineups has been brought out in the light, there isn't room to consider a conversation, let alone a reunion. Maybe if it were you, it'd be different. Maybe you do it for this reason or that, peace, whatever. I love our band now. We're there for each other when the going gets rough. We love our fans and work to give them every ounce of energy and heart we can. So let sleeping dogs lie, or lying dogs sleep, or whatever. Time to move on. People get divorced. Life doesn't owe you your own personal happy ending, especially at another's, or in this case, several others' expense. But hey, if you gotta, then maybe we can get the no-show grandstanding publicity stunt disrespectful he doesn't care about the fans crap out of the way as quickly as we can, and let's move on. No one's taking the ball and going home. Don't get it twisted. For more than a decade and a half, we've endured the double standards, the greed of this industry, and the ever-present, seemingly limitless supply of wannabes and unscrupulous, irresponsible media types. Not to imply anything in this particular circumstance, but from my perspective, in regard to both the Hall and reunion, the ball's never been in our court. In closing, regardless of this decision, and as hard to believe or as ironic as it may seem, I'd like to sincerely thank the board for their nomination and their votes for Guns induction. More importantly, I'd like to thank the fans for being there over the years, making any success we've had possible, and for enjoying and supporting Guns N' Roses music. I wish the Hall a great show. Congratulations to all the other artists being inducted, and to our fans, we look forward to seeing you on tour. Sincerely, Axl Rose. P.S. R.I.P. Armand. Long live ABC3. Well, that's 6 minutes and 3 seconds, plus there was a stumble in there. I think throw in a few guitar riffs, and Axl has got himself a brand new GNR song.